Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition, so sit back, shut the hell up, because we're going back to A Quiet Place with the release of the second film's trailer. Shh! Throughout this video we're going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about the movie and some of the things that you missed from the trailer itself. There may be heavy spoilers here, so if you want to go into the movie as blind as possible, get it? Because the monsters are never mind. Then I highly recommend that you turn off now, because we're going to be talking about as much of the movie as we know so far. With that out of the way, I just want to give a huge thank you for clicking this video. Now let's get into our breakdown of A Quiet Place Part 2. Okay, so before we get into the trailer breakdown, let's talk about the movie in general. The film is scheduled to be released on the 20th of March 2020 in both the US and UK. It was originally slated for May the 15th, however, Paramount must be confident as they moved it forward massively. This could also be because the original film was released on April the 6th, and the studio are trying to keep it more in line with this. The original cast are all back as well, except for John Krasinski, who, saddest death of 2018. He is back in the directing seat though, and though we don't know for definite yet, I do think he will appear in the film in flashbacks. When discussing a sequel, the creative team stated, "It feels like there are a billion places to take A Quiet Place sequel. For example, are there other families out there? There are so many discarded set pieces too, just hiding out on Word documents on our computer. So yeah, there are certainly so many stories you could tell. It just really, at the end of the day, who are the characters in this and what does this situation mean to that dynamic?" So it looks like we will be getting a similar aesthetic to the original film, with Krasinski also stating, "It's not like Alien or Jaws where the main villain is the thing you're repeating. It's an actual entire set of rules and the circumstance that the world has undergone that you can play with in very different facets." So it does look like the family will still be remaining as quiet as possible instead of going all gun-ho on the creatures. They will be travelling to other locations and interacting with other people, and the movie actually has some quite big names attached to it now, including Cillian Murphy and Djimon Hounsou, who are both set to star in the sequel. I've definitely butchered his name. Anyway, Brian Tyree Henry was originally meant to star in the film, but there were some announcements that he was replaced. In interviews this year, last year, God that feels so weird saying, he paid a lot of lip service to what could be coming in the movie and said, "I really think that what we'll do is we'll see more of that family continuing to survive and finding out they're not the only ones. And I think that we're also going to get a few answers to the origin of where and how this whole thing happened. But I think you're going to see another side of it, more of humanity that survived this thing in the next story." Okay, now on to the trailer itself. So as you may have guessed it, A Quiet Place 2 is a direct follow-on from the first film. When movies are called Part 2, they tend to just be direct follow-ups, and A Quiet Place Part 2 takes place immediately after the events of the first film, though we do know that we will be seeing the outbreak of the invasion from the perspective of the family. Initially in the trailer, the mother, Evelyn, played once more by Emily Blunt, is unable to get a signal on the radio. It is likely that the creatures attacked broadcasting places first, as we do know that through their ear canals they were able to pick up on frequencies and so on. This was how Reagan was able to defeat the monsters using her bone-anchored hearing aid, as they could tap into this frequency and thus they got a worse headache than I'm sure a lot of you did this morning. So yeah, it's likely that they would have wiped out radio and TV stations first, as they broadcast the most signals. Later in the trailer, we do see the son Marcus being surprised that there's a radio broadcast, so I think this adds a lot of weight to the theory that it is widely known that these were the first elements of society to be targeted. We also see the family past the father Lee, which again ties back to my theory that he will be in the movie during these sections. A bus approaches them, and as Evelyn reverses, we can slowly see a monster climbing out before it cuts to the Paramount logo. Next up we see the farm on fire, which is obviously why the family have to go out to other communities. However, not everyone seems that welcoming, and they spring a bottle trap and then find themselves in a sniper's scope. I do want to say that this was set for the monsters and not for people, which we'll get into in just a bit, but there are some theories floating about that people may be just as bad as the creatures. We don't know how the barn was set on fire, so it could be possible that looters tried to invade it, or the finale in the first film ended up causing the blaze. I'm leaning more towards the latter, as I can't see people venturing out much, which is cemented by this trap. The barn is later shown in the trailer from the perspective of Marcus, so yeah, it looks like whatever causes this blaze will be part of the opening. Anyway, the aesthetic of the trailer, it reminded me massively of The Last of Us, and I love how they're going with the motif that humans don't trust each other anymore because of how bare bones everything is. If every day was a fight for survival, you would probably put your best interests first, so it would be difficult to form bonds. We also see the newborn baby as well as a bandage around Evelyn's foot, which is from when she stood on a nail in the last movie. They are likely looking for a new home, and we can see them carrying the box that the baby was kept in, as well as the oxygen tank that was used to hide it from the monsters in case it began crying. When running, they come face to face with Cillian Murphy, who saves them, so the trap from earlier was probably set for the monsters, as he could have easily shot them at this moment. Though yeah, this would have drawn attention and so on. You've got to choose your battles in this world. Though he will likely only have self-interest, it is possible that people are still genuinely good and just want to help each other. He says that people are bad, but Evelyn kind of rebuffs this and says that there's people worth saving, and it's likely that this will be a road trip to rally communities together under one common cause. Cillian Murphy, he does say that the people that are left aren't worth saving, and this kind of hints at the journey that he's been through. We also see some of the invasion from his perspective, and he's likely seen the ugly side of humanity, which is why the beacon of Evelyn and the rest of the family is so important to him. His character also lives in a furnace, which is likely soundproofed, and he's probably lived a very isolated life. We are clearly getting a lot of the invasion from his point of view, including a look at him and Demon's character saving some children, though they could have ended up just leaving them, which I think will be the case, as again, everyone is just out for themselves. Now, as for the overall meaning of the film and its themes, I think this will massively juxtapose the first entry. In our original film breakdown, we did say that the monsters were sort of a metaphor for censorship, and how because of the world around them, the Abbotts were scared to talk or really express themselves in any meaningful way. This led the daughter Regan to believe that her father didn't love her, which he did, and so on. Yeah, there was a lot of things going on here language wise. Even the family themselves just lived in their own corner of the world, and from the campfire scene we do know that there were other communities around them from the fires that we saw lighting up. They still just kept themselves to themselves though, which again ties back to censorship and an inability to express themselves and so on. It may be a bit of a reach, but that's just how I always took the film. The second film seems a lot more about opening yourself up though, and reaching out to other people, which of course will be seen in them travelling to other places and people around the area. Overall, the trailer looks like the perfect continuation on the first movie, and I can't wait to see what happens in the film when it drops in March. It's got an amazing atmosphere to it, and I think there's probably more dialogue in this trailer than there was in the original movie, which is absolutely crazy. This is one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and I really can't wait to see what happens in it. Also, I haven't mentioned it so far, but Happy New Year, and thank you everyone for your support over the last one. I still can't believe how much the channel has grown, and it's just incredible to me, so thank you for all your support. I tell you, if you'd seen the state of me last night, it was a miracle that this video got out. I was like one of them monsters lashing out at the sounds, you know. Anyway, thanks again for all your support, and all the best for 2020. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on the trailer and if you're hyped for the movie. Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please give it a thumbs up in silence, and make sure you check out our full breakdown of this week's big release, You Season 2, which will be linked at the end. We go over everything you need to know about the show and give our theories on the ending, so it's definitely worth checking out if you want to know more. If you want to come chat to me after the video, then make sure you follow me on Twitter at DefinitionYT, or head over to my Discord server, which will be linked in the description below. We drop videos on there early, so if you want to see stuff before anyone else, then that's the best place to be. It's free to join and we have an awesome community, so hopefully I see you over there very soon. We're also giving away a free copy of Joker, which was one of our favourite movies of last year, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave your thoughts on the trailer in the comments section below. The winner is going to be chosen at random on the 15th of January and the set will be shipped out from then to whoever gets the prize, so best of luck to everyone who takes part. This is a channel for people who are mad into movies, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Huge thank you for taking the time to watch this. I've been Definition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.